What's up, Undisputed listeners? It's your boy, Shay Sharp. I wanted to tell you about my new podcast, Club Shay Shay, where we always do something before two something. Each week, I sit down with a guest for a drink and conversation, and as host and proprietor of Club Shay Shay, I've welcomed in esteemed guests such as Snoop Dogg, Floyd Money Mayweather, LeVar Ball, Isaiah Thomas, just to mention a few. Whether I'm talking to an athlete, a musician, an actor, or a lifelong friend, Club Shay Shay is a place where people share inspiring and motivational stories about their journeys to prominence. The new episode drops every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe to Club Shay Shay now and make sure you never miss a new episode. Now back to Undisputed.
Welcome to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. We've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon. Let's get to it.
Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from LA. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. Good morning. Hope you guys had a great weekend.
Had a great bit on Russ. In Russ, I trust. I trust Russ.
You know, I don't really care about that. All I care about is it's just 6 more days until the no doubt GOAT takes on that kid that everybody, including the guy across from me, says is already the GOAT, right?
Yeah. It's a changing of the time.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Let's see how he holds up against the 43-year-old GOAT.
Oh, okay. Well, we want to talk about Tom Brady. That's a given. I know we'll get to that, but there was some pretty big news over the weekend concerning 2 specific quarterbacks. And according to multiple reports, the Rams and Lions made a blockbuster trade over the weekend. Matthew Stafford will be heading to LA in exchange for Jared Goff, 2 first-round draft picks, and a 3rd-round draft pick. And after the news, the Rams jumped from the 9th to the 6th best odds to win next year's Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. So, Shannon, please give the Rams a letter grade for this trade.
Skip, before I give it a letter grade, Stafford is a substantial upgrade over Jared Goff. But it was a steep price to pay. And, Skip, I talked to a man one time that had a lot of money, and he was getting a divorce. And he looked at me dead in my eye. He said, son, there's not a price too steep to pay to get out of a relationship in which you're unhappy. This goes to show you just how unhappy the Rams were with Jared Goff. Skip, they're willing to take the highest dead cap hit in NFL history, $22 million. They were willing to give up 2 first-rounders. Now they go 7 years without a first-round draft pick. They were willing to do that after they just gave a guy $134 million. And we talked about this last week, Skip. It's one thing when the head coach says, you know, offensively, we need to do some things better. Defensively, we need to do some things better. When the head coach says, we need to get better play out of the quarterback after you've given him $134 million a year and a half ago, the writing's on the wall. Les Snead said, you know, they said, well, that's a big, you know, lot of dead money cap hit. Les Snead said the cap can be worked.
Okay. So you're giving it a letter grade of what?
I'm going to give him a letter grade of a C. And let me tell you why I gave it a C, Skip. Matthew Stafford is about to be 33 years of age, and he has an injury history. Remember, now 2018, he missed half the season. He had this year, he had thumb, rib, cartilage damage. In 2019, fractured bone in his back. 2016, dislocated finger. 2011, broken finger. 2010, separated shoulder. Dislocated patella tendon in his knee. Also in 2009. Oh, yeah, by the way, Skip, how many playoff games has he won? Now, Jared Goff did take the team to the Super Bowl. Now, you can say what he wants. You can say, well, that was defense-led and Todd Gurley had a historic year running the football. But that did happen on his watch. But here's this is one of the main reasons, Skip, I ended up getting him a C. In the regular season, people, listen to this. Matthew Stafford is 10-59 in his career versus teams that have made the playoffs. That is the worst of any quarterback in at least 40 starts versus playoff teams all time. They make it seem like they just traded for Patrick Mahomes. You want to think, Skip, I'm not saying Matthew Stafford isn't better than Jared Goff. I believe he is. But given his age, given his injury history, given what he hasn't accomplished, this is not a slam dunk like everybody is portraying it out to be. Does he have substantial arm strength better than Jared Goff? Yes. Do I believe in this offense you're going to see a different Matthew Stafford? Absolutely. But, Skip, given the injury history and what I haven't seen, I've seen him, what year was that? Skip, I want to say, was it 2011, 2012? You remember when against the Packers, he threw for like 521, was about to leave for the day. That's they sat Aaron Rodgers, Matt Flynn started. That was when Matt Flynn got. That was his big payday game. Matthew Stafford was dealing. I think he ended up having like 521. About to go ahead and lead him for the game when he touchdown and had me at the edge of my seats. And what does he do? Throw a pick to end the game. He's had some great moments, but far too many have ended in, oh, damn, man, you left a lot to be desired. I gave it a C for the simple fact his injury history and what I haven't seen him do in the regular season.
How many games did Matt Stafford start last year for the Lions?
Started them all, I guess.
All 16?
Yeah.
So would you believe that despite all that litany, that long list of injuries that he has suffered through, that he's only missed those 8 games in 2018, the back half of 2018? Since 2011, those are the only 8 games he's missed because he had a serious injury at that point with his back. Okay, so he had to shut it down for the back half of 2018. So for me, you are ignoring the advice of your good friend about the divorce, right? You're saying no to that. There is no, there is a price. There is a price point where you'd say, no, I'm not going to pay that to get out from under this unhappiness.
No, the Rams said the price isn't too steep because clearly they were unhappy.
Okay, my turn. I give this deal a grade of A+.
Wow.
A+. Matt Staffords don't come available in this league very often.
Why they come available?
Matt Staffords don't grow on Southern California trees, as I've told you before. Matt Stafford is a sleeping giant in Detroit, where obviously the Lions have played more like pussycats, and they've been mismanaged, and he's been through a lot. As many injuries as you listed, I can list head coaches in Detroit while Matt's been there, coordinators in Detroit while Matt was there, and obviously quarterback coaches while he was there. The turnover has been extraordinary. It's been excruciating. It's been painful for me to watch because I'm a fan of Matthew Stafford. I think he has superstar capability, and I believe he's going to have a career rebirth in Hollywood with the Rams at SoFi. Once upon a time, there was a great writer in this country named F. Scott Fitzgerald, who wrote The Great Gatsby, and his point was there are no second acts in American life. I think this is going to be one of the great second acts, because if suddenly you replace Jared Goff with a guy that you think is better, I think is way better than Jared Goff, and you do give him Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods, if they re-sign Josh Reynolds, Tyler Higbee, Cam Akers, I'm going to give that offensive line top 5 in the league. And that defense, you love that defense. You love Aaron Donald way more than I do, but it is a loaded defense.
Yeah, get Jalen Ramsey. They got it
back to front. It is loaded, and obviously, in the secondary, they're strong in the secondary.
Yes.
It could be the best defense in pro football, certainly as it continues to come of age next year. You put that all together, and all of a sudden, you're not just back in business. You're challenging Brady's Bucs next year to be the best team in the NFC. I believe Brady's Bucs will be the favorites, the preseason favorites, to win the NFC next year. I'm sure Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, with a new defensive coordinator and a new special teams coach, will have something to say about that. But to me, all of a sudden, the Rams are right back in the thick of it, maybe as the second best team, maybe as the first best. I think they have a chance with Matthew Stafford teaming up with Sean McVay, the young offensive genius that he is, that all of a sudden you're going to see the best of Matthew Stafford, which we saw in glimpses, in dribs and drabs in Detroit.
He's one of 8 quarterbacks that has a 5,000-yard passing season on his resume.
Okay. So just to back this up, to sum this up, allow me to read a couple of quotes from 2 people that I have some respect for just because they've been around the league so long. And the first one's Bruce Arians, obviously now coaching a Super Bowl team. But Bruce Arians is, in his past, has coached Peyton Manning and coached Big Ben Roethlisberger and coached Andrew Luck and coached Carson Palmer. So he's been around. Now he's seen Tom Brady. And just the other day, he said this about Matthew Stafford. He's one of my all-time favorite guys. He's tough as nails. Like I said the other day, he's one of the few quarterbacks I like going out and watching warm up. Just watching him throw because he's so special. I've always felt like he was one of the top 4 or 5 guys in this league for a long time. Like I said, he's as tough as nails, and his guys know it. They know he's going to suck it up for them. So I got that long list of injuries, but his teammates knew that mostly he just played through all of it.
But the injury history doesn't concern you?
It would if he just shut it down and watched a lot of games. But again, it's a tough game that he's playing. I think he'll have the best protection he's ever had next year. And maybe he'll stay a little healthier he's going to turn 33, as you say, in 6 days. Well, he's still 10 years younger than Tom Brady.
Right.
So, again, could you get, I don't know, 4 or 5 great years out? Yes, you could.
You could, Skip, but here's the thing. He's 10 years younger than Tom Brady. With Tom Brady doesn't have a third of the injuries that he has. I mean, outside of the knee, Tom Brady's basically been injury clean.
As far as we know, but maybe through his days with Belichick, maybe they just hid most of them.
Well, they did. And that's one of the reasons why they had to change the rule.
Okay.
Skip, but you listed all the Cooper Kupps and the Robert Woods. He did play with Megatron. He did play with Roy Williams, who went to the Pro Bowl twice. He did play with Golden Tate. He had Marvin Jones. He had Reggie Bush.
And those are reasons he had all those yards.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So let's not make it seem like Matthew Stafford was devoid of talent when he was in Detroit. Because Megatron, he is never going to play with a receiver that's better than Megatron.
Nope, I'll buy that. But that's why he shot up to number 16 on the all-time passing list in yards.
Yes.
And I think he's 14th in completion.
Yes.
So he's on the rise, and he's got a long way to go. And if he stays on track, I don't know. Could he start to challenge the guys at the top?
Yeah, I can see if he plays, he's averaging 4,000 yards a season. So could he get to 60, 65,000 yards? Absolutely, Skip.
Okay.
If he plays until he's 40, hell, he could get to 70,000 yards. I have no issue with his ability. There's a reason why they took him number 1 overall. But Skip, how in the hell you can't win the SEC championship when you got A.J. Green and No. Sean Marino in your backfield, and you don't win the SEC? How in the hell is that? And you know Georgia is loaded with talent. Every year, they're right there with Alabama and LSU as far as talent. And he was on that roster as the quarterback, and he couldn't get it done. So you don't question that?
I don't. But I don't know. I'd have to go back and really dig through that year to see how it exactly unfolded. But it didn't stop the Lions from taking him number 1 overall. Because
that ability is there. Skip, you look at a guy, 6'3", 225, 230, rocket arm, can throw the ball 75, 80 yards, can make every throw in the book. But there's something to be said about a guy that just doesn't win to the level that you think he should, given his level of ability.
Okay, you might have me on the college level, but not on the Lions NFL level. I just think they're a sorry franchise with sorry management at the top, and it's hard to ask him to rise above that. I just think he's going to have a change of scenery, a change of heart, a change of being revitalized, like can't wait, jumping out of bed in the morning. It smells great out here with that eucalyptus smell. I think this was made for him. And by the way, he's got an off-season home down in Newport Beach, so he loves the area.
With the kind of money he's made, he got a lot of off-season homes.
Okay, well, he'll have another off-season home in Beverly Hills, probably. And his, obviously his closest friend from high school is Clayton Kershaw, so they'll be a little bit more reunited here in L.A.
I don't know what Matt Ryan going to do, because they're very good friends. They got homes next to each other in Atlanta.
Okay, now back to the other quote that I would like to read. This one's from Aaron Rodgers, and he was on the McAfee show the other day talking about Patrick Mahomes and all the no-looks and the left-handed passes and on and on. And out of the blue, Aaron Rodgers said this: I will say this. A guy who probably doesn't get anywhere near the credit for doing this stuff like that all the time. He wears number 9 and plays in Detroit. That dude, what he does with the ball is impressive. It's really, really impressive. That dude is throwing crazy no-lookers all the time, and he can throw from any arm angle. So I don't hear Aaron gush about anybody else. I don't hear him volunteer about Brady or Mahomes. He just doesn't talk about
Well, you know why he did that, Skip? Because Pat McAfee was talking about Mahomes throwing the no-look.
Yeah.
And everyone's like,
Okay, well, time out. just one guy who's overlooked and a little... He's saying he's underrated for all the trick passes he pulls off is this guy, Matthew Stafford. Obviously, Aaron gets to see him twice a year. He's seen him twice a year for a long time. So he's saying, don't sleep on this guy. And again, this guy to me is a sleeping giant. And that all got lost in Detroit because they were often bad football teams. They had their moments, but they were often just under the radar bad, off the radar bad. And now he'll be more on the radar at SoFi.
Oh, yeah.
In Hollywood. Yeah. Hollywood will make him a much bigger star than Detroit could. That's just me. Yeah.
Well, Skip, if he could have won, because sometimes your talent can supersede even the team. Look at Barry. Barry teams were terrible, but we still believe he's one of the greatest.
And what did he do? He just quit prematurely. He couldn't take it anymore. He said, I'm done. Megatron quit prematurely. Both had several prime years left.
Skip, Barry only played 10 years.
I got it.
People don't realize Barry played 10 years. And this Skip, you're right. His arm talent is second to none. He doesn't have to take a back seat to anybody when it comes to arm talent, because I saw him throw a touchdown, a no-look touchdown against the Tennessee Titans. He's looking over here, and he throws the ball between like 3 defenders at the back of the end zone, and his guys catch it. I'm like, how would you even know to throw it that kind of, to throw it in front, throw it between, and the guy catches it? So I'm not debating anything about his ability.
Okay.
Skip, I believe he's going to be in the MVP discussion in this offense, because I know what the West Coast offense can do to guys. And he's going to be in that discussion.
Okay. But would you also agree he'll be surrounded by the best team he's ever played with and in the middle of, right? It'll be the best team he's ever had.
Top to bottom.
Top to bottom.
From the top to the bottom.
And I'm talking about including the defense. It'll be the best team.
Oh, yeah, no question.
It well could be the best offensive coaching he's ever had. Deshaun
that's
is
easy.
Very good at what he does, right?
Skip, I gave it a C, but what I've done today, hell yeah.
Okay. All right.
I got to do that.
To your friend's point, there's no price that's too steep if you can get him now.
Right.
When your team is on the rise and you can stick him in a quarterback, it's unheard of. Not only did you gain him, but thanks to Brad Holmes, who used to be your director of college scouting with the Rams, who's now running the operation in Detroit, Brad Holmes helped make the mistake of drafting Jared Goff, and then he helped facilitate you getting out from under Jared Goff, right?
Yeah.
Which is also very hard to do.
It is, because to have someone to eat that contract.
Yes.
Matthew Stafford contract is very friendly. I mean, it's $43 million over the next 2 years. Now, they're probably going to give him an extension.
Maybe they will.
But you're absolutely right. But I believe Detroit basically said, look, the amount of games that we're winning with Matthew Stafford, we can win without him. Yeah. We can win 4 or 5 games without Matthew Stafford, just like we won 4 or 5 games with him. So why not, since we're going to rebuild, why not? Hold on just a second. Jim Caldwell had this thing cruising right along.
He did.
And then here come Matt Patricia.
I agree.
And now they rebuild. 3 years after Matt Patricia get this gift, they're tearing the whole thing down, starting from scratch.
Thank you. And he's back with Belichick.
He's back with Coach
where he
Belichick.
belonged from the start.
And Matthew Stafford said, you can trade me anywhere you want to.
Okay.
Just don't trade me there.
Okay. I love what the Rams do because Les Snead is go for broke.
Oh, yeah.
Jerry Glanville once referred to the NFL as not for long.
Not for long.
It's pay me now, not pay later, pay me now. Just whatever you have to do, just pay for it now. 1 year at a time, take your shot, shoot the moon, go for the throat, go for the jugular. They went for the jugular with the Jalen Ramsey deal, and they said, we want him, and he's really good. I thought he played small at Green Bay, but maybe he can rise to the occasion with a better quarterback. And obviously, he was done with Jared Goff when he tweeted about him the other day and was campaigning for Deshaun to wind up.
But what did I tell you, Skip? I said he's just taking his cue from the general manager and the head coach, because they were done with it.
They seemed done with what they were talking about. Well, he's our quarterback today, but they probably knew that the deal was not only in the works, it was close to being finished.
The thing is with Les Snead, Skip, and you play Texas Hold'em, he just shoves in every hand.
Every
so
hand.
You don't know if he got the nuts for real or he got 10 twos offsuit. You have no idea, because every time all in. Skip, he's went all in. Aaron Donald, he goes all in. Jalen Ramsey all in. Jared Goff, he went all in. He went all in with Ty Todd Gurley. He goes up, they go all in basically seemingly every year. And this is another situation in 2021. They've shoved all their chips to the center of the table, saying, we're going all in.
And I don't blame them. You have to pick the right move to make. You have to pull the right card.
Right.
And they pulled Matthew Stafford, and they made a run at Aaron Rodgers just to make. Are you sure he's not available? No, he's not available. Right?
Yeah, hello. Skip, I can't even believe that Sean McVay would even call his buddy. That's his best friend.
Well, just to make sure.
How you do that?
But has the bridge been burned with Aaron Rodgers? You know, are they ready to go forward with Jordan Love? You might as well kick those tires.
No, I don't care, Skip Bayless. You can't call your best friend if he's having a bad, if he's in a relationship with a bad, she bad. Oh, she a 15-piece.
Mm-hmm.
You can't call your friend if you hear they having problems. Tell me, hey, bro, you mind if I shoot my shot? No, you can't do that.
Okay.
That's your best friend in Green Bay, Sean McVay. How you do it like that?
I don't think Sean made the call. I think Les Snead made it to Gutekunst, the GM.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
But Sean McVay, no, he's like, look here. We gonna stay away from that. That's just like, okay, you put your boy up to it. Hey, brother, such a want to holler at your girl since y'all have a problem. No. But I don't blame him. I did the exact same thing. Because if I get Aaron Rodgers, Skip, now you know that would have definitely swung the pendulum of power.
Okay.
But that, Skip, that's a steep price now. But you said this on numerous occasions. There's not a price too steep if you can get that guy. You believe they got the guy.
It's the ultimate position in all of sports.
Yes, yeah, absolutely.
Obviously, Clayton Kershaw plays the ultimate position, but he can only play it every fifth game,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
Okay, so that waters down the value and impact of a baseball pitcher.
Right.
But this guy can pitch every game.
Right.
And they got out from under a guy who led this league in total turnovers over the last 3 seasons.
Yeah.
You can't win that way.
No.
It won't work. So now Jared Goff got his money from the Rams. He did help get them to a Super Bowl, and then he came up incredibly small in that Super Bowl, and Belichick got way too much credit for shutting down McVay's offense. He was shutting down an overrated Jared Goff.
Right.
That's what was happening to me.
Hey, I believe Matthew Stafford is going to be in the MVP discussion.
Really?
In this offense, no offense has produced more MVPs in the regular season, more Super Bowl MVPs. You look at Joe Montana, Steve Young, Elway, Favre, Rodgers. All of them was in this offense. Mahomes. That's the West Coast system, Skip. Sean McVay learned from Kyle Shanahan.
Are you sure you don't want to make your C a B plus? B plus?
I had to, Skip, like I said, the thing that really scares me, his ability is A plus.
It is.
The injury history concerns me, especially if he had a half the injuries. I said, okay, I can live with it. But it seems like every year there's a ticky-tack injury, and I don't know, is he going to be a guy like Brady that says, you know what? Hell, I'm going all in on training. I'm going all in. I'm doing this, drinking water, avocado ice cream, whatever the case may be, hyperbaric chambers and all that. Because if he does, with his skill set in that offense.
Okay. Bruce Arians, he's tough as nails, and his teammates know it. Is that what he'll immediately show the Rams?
Yeah, he can spin it, Skip.
Okay.
He can spin the ball. He can spin the football.
Okay. Just to demonstrate how difficult it is in this league to find a quarterback, if you look back at all the drafts from 2009 to 2016, all the first-round quarterbacks taken, only one is left at his original team. Only one remains. And that's your man, walk it to him, Wentz, who got replaced by Jalen Hurts at the end of last season.
And that might not be true. That might not be true at the end of the day.
He might not stay. It might go down to 0.
Yes.
But obviously it was Goff and Matthew. You know, they were 2 left on the list, and then they swapped, so it dropped to 1.
Wow.
I
can't. It just shows you how hard it is.
This escalated quickly.
No mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, I wanted to tell you about our brand new Fox Sports app and website, foxsports.com. Reimagined for the modern sports fan. Go ahead, download the new app right now. You don't even have to pause this episode. Every day on the new app and website, you'll see the top stories in sports, plus a rich world of written content, videos, social media, and analytics to give you a 360-degree view of the most important stories of the day. Streaming live TV has never been so easy or
elegant. Every Fox Sports game, including all pregame and postgame shows, are just one click away. For the extra invested fan, we also go deep with real-time wagering lines, trending prop bets, win probability, and key player projections. Download the new Fox Sports app or visit www.foxsports.com.
Well, the Wizards left the Nets stunned last night, down 5. Bradley Beal drained a three-pointer with only 8 seconds remaining in the game. The Wizards then stole the inbounds pass, and Russell Westbrook hit another 3 to put Washington up 1 with only 4 seconds to go. The Nets had a shot to regain the lead, but TLC missed a point-blank layup off an inbounds pass from Kyrie in the final seconds. So, Shannon, how did the Nets blow this game?
The Nets, defensively. Now, I've tried to tell Skip Bayless, but he didn't want to hear me when I said this. So now that I have your undivided attention,
you don't.
After your team gave up 84 second-half points, 48 in the fourth quarter, 149 in regulation, Skip Bayless came in here the other day, and he talked about how the Lakers had a terrible loss to the Detroit Pistons. Guess who has a worse record than the Detroit Pistons? And they beat the historically great. Now, if you look at them offensively, the Nets are averaging 122.6 offensive rating, which will be the greatest in NBA history. They average 120 defensive rating, which will be the worst in NBA history. Now, I tried to tell you the 85 points that they held Miami to was an anomaly. Oh, that's a sign of things to come. 85 against Miami, average giving up 130 against everybody else other than Miami. Wow. Now, Skip, how you get a lead and Russ just walking to the basket, laying it up, and one on 7-foot KD. Bradley Beal getting whatever he want. Kyrie, to his credit, he stepped up, said he couldn't guard a stick last night. Couldn't guard a parked car with a Uzi. Going right by him. Skip, you told me there's a guy, and everybody at home, you guys will know this name, and I want you to circle it. His name is Bruce Brown. He's the defensive stopper.
He is.
How the hell Bradley Beal and Russ get 78 combined points against a defensive stopper?
Do you realize who Bradley Beal is?
A defensive stopper. That's what you told me.
No, Bradley Beal is it. When he goes Bradley Beal, he is unstoppable.
Skip. So everybody say, so who is Colin Sexton?
Who have you been campaigning for the Lakers to acquire?
Let me ask you, can I ask you a question?
Bradley Beal.
Can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Is Colin Sexton Bradley Beal? Because he dropped 42 on your head. Everybody's getting career highs against you, Skip Bayless. Skip, you gave up 72-point paints.
Is it my turn?
Hold on just a second, Skip. You gave up 72-point paints to a team that doesn't have a big. They just signed Alex Lynn, who was, I don't even know where he was, but he wasn't even on the roster. They signed Alex Lynn just to have some bodies. And they did this to you, Skip. I keep telling you, Skip, you have defensive issues. You're averaging giving up 125 points since the trade. Since you got Harden, your defensive guys, Taurean Prince, a wing, Jared Allen, a true rim protector, shot blocker, you gave that up. And I told you you're going to struggle. Steve Nash said it again last night. We're not going to win until we decide to play defense, and we haven't played it. Some nights your offense can get you out of harm's way, but there's no way. The end of this game, you know what it reminded me of, Skip? The Indiana Knicks game. Remember how Reggie Miller got them 11 points in like 9 seconds? They stole it. The only difference was Reggie stole the inbounds. This time, the other guy stole the inbounds, passed it to Russ, and Russ let that 3 fly. Yaga!
The other guy stole the inbound?
Did he not steal it?
No.
What happened to
Is
it?
it my turn finally?
Yeah,
Is the show over, Jenny? I don't know.
Not yet.
Okay. I think I need to speak a little bit.
That last 3 Russ hit, what
Because
happened?
this show is in dire need of perspective.
Okay, well, go ahead and give it to us.
Okay, first of all, the Washington Wizards have been COVID-racked like no other NBA team, and they're finally getting healthy coming out of that outbreak that just wrecked their team. And when you do have Russ, and you do have Bradley Beal, and you are at home, you are a threat to beat anybody on any night, any way, shape, or form. But what happened at the first of this game? Well, my first surprise was, no, James Harden. He is running away with the NBA assist lead, once held last year by LeBron James.
Right.
He led it last year, and he said, okay, that's enough of that. I got to start shooting threes. We'll get to him in just a minute here on the show. But in this case, the Wizards came out dead-headed and dead-legged as usual because There's no James Harden, and it's like, well...
You mean the Nets came out like that?
No, the Wizards did, because I think they were thinking they don't take us seriously, and we shouldn't take ourselves seriously, because Bradley Beal shut it down and quit on the home team in the first half last night, and they fell behind 23-9, and then it was 31-13, and I thought it was a cakewalk. If we can just see Bradley Beal. It got so bad, he wouldn't even sit with the team during a timeout. There's a wide open, watch this. Bradley Beal just says, okay, I'm out. I'm done. I've seen enough. I'm sick of this. Thank you very much.
Look at that.
Just wide open.
Bradley Beal saying, is anybody going to stop Jeff Green?
Yeah. There's Bradley Beal. Oh, that was the effort. That's a lot of good.
I mean, he's a part of that. I mean, he's up there sulking, but he's a part of the reason.
Now, he's just watching them play offense, and I'll just stand out here at the three-point line, and I'll just watch. And I'll just watch over here in the corner, watch them stink it up and lose. This is in the first half of last night's game. And finally, he goes over to the bench, and he just sat there away from his team. He pulled a LeBron in game one of the finals at Oracle. Well, he did, just before overtime. And then all of a sudden, weirdly enough, they started to catch fire. Why did they catch fire? Because Russell Westbrook despises Kevin Durant for leaving him behind in Oklahoma City. And he still hasn't made any peace with that or given it up. Kevin's just fine with it because Kevin went and got his rings with the Golden State Warriors. He got 2 rings, 2 finals MVPs, and he's literally looking down, literally from 7 feet tall, looking down at little Russ saying, I don't care about you anymore. You're irrelevant to me. And Russell took this like it was an NBA Finals Game 7. And down the stretch, Russell actually said, no, I got it.
He guarded KD.
He guarded KD. I'm saying, what are you doing? KD, you got to take advantage of this. He could not take advantage because Russell Westbrook was possessed.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at what happened at the end of this game. It still looked several times like it was way over. It still looked like, as they kept, KD made all 6 of his free throws. Kyrie made his free throws and made a big shot. They're up 5 with seconds left, and it just looked like they were completely in control. And then all of a sudden, the fateful sequence transpires. The, if you want, Reggie Miller memorial sequence transpires. And here goes Bradley Beal, and he's so hot, he just jacks it on the run and makes it. Now it's up to Joe Harris to throw it in bounds. And you said, well, wait a second, Garrison Matthews stole the ball?
Yeah.
He didn't steal the ball. Joe Harris lost his mind. He had made a career-high 8 threes in this game. And tell me who he's throwing it to.
Well,
he thought KD was going to break to the corner, but he didn't even look. It's like it was a no-look pass. And the only man who broke to the corner was the kid from Lipscomb, who he just throws it right to him in the corner. Is KD even in the ballpark of this play? Help me out. Joe Harris, what's wrong with you? This is the game. If he makes a clean inbounds pass, the game is over. It's just over.
What KD was Skip? KD shows him his hand, and like he's going to the corner. What's he supposed to do?
Okay, but he throws it completely into the corner to Garrison. It's like he was the intended target on this play. I've never seen it as bad. This is the worst inbounds pass under pressure I've ever seen. He throws it completely to the corner, and there's only one man out there, and he's wearing the wrong color jersey. And I said, Joe Harris, because I have respect for him, because he can really shoot.
He caught 5 last night.
He's the 3-point champion a couple of years back, and he was out of his mind. He even made a couple more in the 4th quarter. If you inbounds it cleanly, the game is over, and instead he inbounds it to the kid from Lipscomb, which is in Nashville, Tennessee, and he turns and feeds Russ. Now, who is Russell Westbrook? Help me out here.
He had just missed a 3.
He had just Westbrooked a 3 so badly that I felt sorry for him. He is a career 31% 3-point. 31%. He's much better this year so far, but it's early. And he just rips it as cleanly as you can rip it because he shot it possessed. He shot it right through the heart of Kevin Durant. He was 4-7 last night. He was out of his mind. So Bradley Beal scores 22 in the 4th quarter, and there are very few humans out there who can score 22 in a quarter. Obviously, Clay can. Steph can. Right. Maybe KD can when he gets going, but he's not a gunner like that. He's not a no-conscience
we just saw LeBron do it the other night.
Well, he did. He had 21. Okay.
Still, but you remember Greg Anthony did the same thing when he passed to Reggie. He tried to get it, and Reggie just got the ball, and he ran behind the 3-point line.
Okay.
On this one, he thought KD was standing, and KD faked like he was going to the corner. He says, I just need to get the ball to KD. They fouled KD. KD money. He was 13-13 at the free throw line at that point.
Okay, but KD didn't even really take a step to the corner.
He faked it out.
Maybe a head fake, but it was so bad. And then he throws it into the deep corner. It wasn't like a half corner pass. He throws it to the deep corner. What are you doing? He went blind.
And I'm glad they lost because Kyrie Irving was walking his butt off, Skip. He walked. Once the official
Okay, but wait a second. Before we get to that play, so here's the next key play. There's still 4 seconds left, and they're inbounding. The Nets are on their end.
Right.
And Russ is taking KD. And
he knows KD moved.
And he's got a step. I think KD was going to dunk this,
yeah, he was.
Right? And Russell snakes in, dives, and deflects it out of bounds. And it was a crucial play because it took a couple of seconds off the clock. So now they're going to inbounds, obviously. There it is. What a beautiful steal that is, because Kevin's going to dunk over whoever that is underneath. I can't really see who it is. But now we got the inbounds pass. And you can't move your feet. You can't move.
No.
It's walking. You walk. You have to stay stationary on the baseline. You cannot
Unless
move.
it's a made basket.
Yeah, okay.
It was out of bounds.
And it was almost like ball don't lie because TLC has got a bunny little left-handed layup and lips it out.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Lips it out like he should have.
That play for Kevin Durant. What is Kevin Durant doing? That's the exact same thing LeBron James did against the Nuggets, and you ripped him. What is Kevin Durant doing? That play is for Kevin Durant.
It is not. Do you think he called it?
He said after the game the play was for him. Okay. That's what he said.
Wait a second. Did one of the Lakers break wide open for a bunny layup? No, you stop it.
Hey,
what are you talking about?
AD broke wide open for a 3.
A wide open, it was like a 40-foot 3. It was a last-gasp desperation inbounds by Rondo, who said, I looked LeBron James in the eye, I locked eyes with him, and he did not move. He said, I don't want any part of this. Was Kevin moving for the ball?
No,
yes.
Kevin did not move.
Oh,
he's 7 foot tall, right there in front of...
Did he move on the 4.3 seconds left? Yes, he did. And he was going to dunk it.
Whoa. All I'm saying, with 2.5 seconds on the clock, he's right there. The play was called for him. He did the exact same thing. He decoyed. The guy came, got a layup, missed it. LeBron decoyed, AD got a wide open 3.
The Lakers did not get a layup to win the game. I'm sorry.
That's all I said.
And again, Kyrie shuffled his feet, so it was justice that TLC missed it. So I'm fine with that. But clearly, biggest picture of all, the Nets, nothing but Nets. That's what we got in the NBA right now. It's nothing but Nets. They were clearly looking forward to the NBA Finals preview that happens tomorrow night in Brooklyn. Guess who shows up? My Clippers. It's my Clippers against my Nuggets. It's the NBA Finals preview because all of a sudden my Clippers have the best record in basketball.
They play well.
All of a sudden my Clippers are leading the league in three-point shooting and in free throw shooting. Wow, who knew? And so we get to see James Harden. He had a quote-unquote thigh contusion last night. He was just resting, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
They've been resting Kevin here and Kyrie there. And Kyrie
they should rest KD with Achilles injury.
I got it.
And they played him a couple of games. He's played 50 minutes. He's played in the 40s. So he should take a game off here and there.
Okay, so obviously James Harden will play. Kevin will play. Kyrie will play. And we'll see what happens with Kawhi and Paul George and a team that is really moving the basketball in ways they didn't move it last year under Doc Rivers. Ty Lue should be the early front runner for Coach of the Year. He is turning around the Clippers.
Quinn Snyder. But Skip, even if you had won these games, all you're doing is when you win these games 140 to 137, all it does is mask a larger problem that's brewing. Now, Steve Nash, but Skip, when has Mike D'Antoni's team ever played defense? When is this offense, this semblance of this offense, when has it ever been good at defense? They always try to outscore you, and then come playoff time, you see what happens. This is what.
If James Harden had played last night, they would have scored 107.
And they probably would, and they would have gave up 172.
No, they would not have. They would have won by 20.
If you look at, take the last two threes away, the one by Bradley Beal that got him close, and the one by Russ. Everything else, Russ got going to the basket. Everything else, Bradley Beal got going to the basket.
If you take those two away, the Nets are going to win by 6 or 8 points.
No, but I'm saying, Skip, the reason why they were able to stay close is they were going to the baskets. They weren't taking tough contested shots.
Looking ahead to the Clippers. That's what was happening.
So can I ask you a question?
Looking ahead.
Why does everybody get to look ahead except the Lakers? You didn't say that about the Lakers. They were looking ahead to Boston. That's not what you did. You said that LeBron James did yada, 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 yada.
Well, you know what yada, yada was? LeBron played 10 fourth-quarter minutes at Detroit and scored 0 points.
And they lost.
What?
Kevin Durant played all the minutes, scored 100 points, and they lost. So what difference does it make?
It makes a big big difference.
How? You lost.
LeBron's supposed to be Mr. Fourth Quarter, and I'm not seeing it. He had one outbreak.
And what about
one outburst? He had one because he got mad at the former executive.
Do you remember the Bucs?
Cavaliers.
Do you remember the 13-2-2 stat line we had against the Bucs and Giannis?
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
I remember that he went from the 721 mark all the way down to the 104 mark of that game without making a shot.
Hey, we got him to lead, and you saw it slipping away. He says, I got it from here.
Okay.
I'll take it from here. Skip, you ever been on, I don't know if you ever driven. Have you ever driven cross country with somebody? I mean, you team up. He's like, I got it. Hey.
I've driven cross country by myself.
Okay, you crazy.
Several times. Well, I had to change jobs.
Oh, okay. They don't have flight? Did they have planes back then?
Well, I got to take all my stuff, you know? I'm going.
They got moving companies.
I drove from Miami to Los Angeles. How about that? Try that drive.
You must have bumped your head.
That's a long ways,
you
man.
You bumped your head. In a moving van, too.
No.
Did they have moving companies back then? You could have had somebody to move you?
Are you a music guy?
That's what I found out about you, Skip, and you cheat.
Cub reporter.
You cheat.
I was making nothing.
You cheat.
Yeah, Shannon.
I had no money.
Cheat.
I didn't come from money.
TLC said creep. I'm saying cheap.
You got me on that.
Okay.
I was really cheap.
Exactly.
I don't know how we transitioned to that. I am also looking forward to the matchup. Paul George said he and the entire world is looking forward to what they will do against the Nets. So, Skip, I'm with you. This should be a good one. We'll have to see how that one plays out. I want to get back to the Super Bowl, though. Patrick Mahomes will be without 3 of his original starting O-linemen on Sunday. In Super Bowl 55, that includes both starting tackles. And to make matters worse, the Buccaneers were tied for 4th in sacks this season. Mahomes said he will just have to trust his guys up front like he's done all season. So, Shannon, how concerned should the Chiefs be for Mahomes here?
It's very concerning considering what they saw the last game in the championship game against Aaron Rodgers. They started the first pass play that Rodgers attempted, Skip. What did they do? They sacked him. Shaq Barrett sacked him. And he pressured him 22. They were pressured 22 times. They sacked him 5 times.
Yep.
I can understand, when you played the majority of the season, the guard, who was actually a medical doctor, was in Canada because of COVID. He opted out. Okay, Skip, we can bridge that. But then you lose both of your tackles, and now your new tackles got to block JPP and Shaq Barrett. That's asking an awful lot. And that's the key to controlling the game. You have to control Mahomes, and still you got to hope he's off somewhat. That is going to be the big key. That's the question. And for me, I believe if Tampa were to win this game, Skip, I believe one of these defensive players is going to be the MVP. Because I don't believe Tampa can beat them in a shootout. Just everybody, okay, we go, you score, we score, you score, we score. I don't believe Tampa can win a game like that. Do I believe they can put a bunch of points on the board? I believe the winner is going to have 30-plus points. That's what I do believe. The winner will have 30-plus points. And it's going to be key because, Skip, I believe the thing that Tampa showed last time is that what kept them in the ball game, the Chiefs were about to go up 24-0, Skip. And what did Shaq Barrett do in the red zone? 2 or 3 times they shut him out in the red zone. They held him to field goals, and they got a strip sack. That kept the game close, gave Tom Brady to get close, and they could have got the ball back, had the chance to either win the game or tie the game with a field goal. So the offensive line is going to play a huge role in determining how successful not only as Mahomes is, but how successful they're going to be moving in this game. So for me, that's it. That's it in a nutshell, Skip. Can they protect Patrick Mahomes from Shaq Barrett and JPP?
Can they?
Skip, I don't feel as nearly. I'm taking the Chiefs. There's no question. I'm taking the Chiefs, but I don't feel as nearly as comfortable. If they'd had Eric Fisher, I'm like, oh yeah, we got this by at least a touchdown. But now you without Fisher, now you got to take your starting right tackle, Mitchell Schwartz. You've been out with a guard the entire season. That's asking an awful lot. And what I tell people, take Donovan Smith and Tristan Wirth away from Tom Brady and one of those guards, and tell me what you think is going to happen.
Okay. As you well know, sometimes, even oftentimes, the NFL injury gods dictate the outcomes of Super Bowls. It's a war of attrition, and I don't know why guys get hurt. It's inexplicable sometimes, but they get hurt. And it's not fair, but it's a fact that the Chiefs have been decimated in their offensive line. I'm talking about decimated. If you look at last year's Super Bowl starting unit for them, they're down 3 starters who are really good because Eric Fisher was the first pick in the draft. And
made the last 2 Pro Bowls.
Yeah, Mitchell Schwartz was a second-round pick. That's pretty good. And that Duvernay Tardif, the doctor, was a 6th-round pick, but he was a starter who was playing at a very high level. He was playing at a Pro Bowl level to me. And then they drafted that kid, Kalichi Osemele, and he tore both of his knees up, tendons.
They traded for him. He was a free agent. Yeah, he was at the...
I'm sorry, yeah. And he's a 2nd-round pick, okay? So look at the firepower that... And then the other... I'm sorry, the rookie was the kid, Lucas Niang.
Yeah.
He opted out. He was their 3rd-round pick, okay? Look at all the picks who are gone. So they have only 2 starters, the left guard and the center left, and... Man, I start looking at the people that they're playing with. Mike Remmers, I think he's a tough guy. He has a good reputation. He started all 16 games in 2015 for Cam at right tackle in Carolina.
Vaughn was the MVP of that game.
I know, I got it. But he did start all the way through the Super Bowl at right tackle. I'm sure Vaughn took advantage of that in the Super Bowl.
And who else was on that team, Skip, that knows the moves that beat Remmers? Shaq Barrett.
Okay. Fair point. So he's moved from right tackle all the way to left tackle, and that can sometimes be a problem. And then you look at all the rest of them, even that Andrew Wiley, who's now pushed over to right tackle, he's undrafted out of Eastern Michigan, and he's been limited in practice. I told you the other day.
Yeah, he got hurt.
Badly turned his ankle and missed. I think he came back for a brief period of time in the AFC Championship game, but they were in control by that point. But he's pretty iffy right now. Wow. So all of a sudden, I look at some of these guys. Nick Allegretti is starting at the other guard. He's a 7th-round pick. You went down to a lot of undrafted and 7th-rounders. So what happened to the Buccaneers? Well, in the first playoff game at Washington, they lost Alex Kappa, who was their starting guard. And I thought, here now they're in big trouble because they also they lost earlier this year Vita Vea.
Right.
Who is a force in the middle of their defensive front. So I'm thinking, oh, God, you don't have a guard and you don't have your best pocket-pushing pass rusher in the middle. All of a sudden, a miracle happened. Vita Vea overcame a broken leg to come back and play 33 snaps at Green Bay. I don't know how he did it, but he did it.
Right.
And Shaq Barrett gave him credit for one of Shaq's sacks because he said, he pushed the pocket so hard into Aaron that Aaron wanted to step up and got frozen, and he was a sitting duck then for Shaq to swoop in and take him down. Okay, Vita Vea is back full force, and they say he looks like he's 1,000% ready to go. So the 33 snaps might go up to 50 snaps in this game. Okay, so that's big advantage for the Bucs, the home team. And they put some kid named Aaron Stinney in for Kappa at left guard. He's undrafted out of James Madison, but I have not heard his name called for 2 games at New Orleans, at Green Bay, because I think he's been okay.
Except when he got that procedure penalty.
It was terrible. It was terrible. But I'm talking about, I haven't seen a breakdown where I say, oh, he got smoked on that play.
And Skip, the thing is that one guy is one thing, because I can slide the protection one way or another. I can always send the center toward to help the guard. But when you got the edge, Skip, you can only slide one way. Somebody's going to be one-on-one.
Ooh. Man, it's just hard to believe that up against this pass rush, which is a Giants-esque 2007 kind of 4-man we can get to you with 4 kind of pass rush. Again, I keep telling you, to me, Devin White is the best pass rusher. At Green Bay, they barely sent him. They said, because he can play coverage, because he can fly in coverage, too.
Yeah, you don't want to run, because you don't want Aaron Jones, leaking out the backfield and getting loose like that.
That's what he was doing. That was his responsibility.
He's spying on him. The only difference with what I see, Skip, is that I don't think the interior, the tackles, is as good as pass rusher when they went to that NASCAR package. Because remember, they would kick Canty, and they would kick Tuck inside. So now you got OC, Stray,
I'm not saying it's better, but it's
but they got
in the ballpark. It is. Because Sue and now Vita Vea can just force the issue inside. These are powerful men. These are sumo wrestlers.
The thing is, Skip, is that you have to beat the Bucs. You really need to stay ahead of the sticks. And I think a lot of times what happened with the Packers is that they let it get 2nd and 8, 2nd and 10, 3rd and 8. So now they got you in a situation where they know you got to throw the football. You got to stay in manageable where you can either run it or throw it in order to get the first down. More times than not, you're not running for 8 yards and getting a first down. So you have to be careful. You need to stay ahead of the sticks. But this is a tall task to ask of a young quarterback.
It is.
It's like, okay, bro, you without your 3 of your starters. and 2 of those guys starters are tackles.
Okay.
Go get it done.
So the unprotected quarterback's best friend is the run game. What do the Bucs do best? What were they number one in?
They stopped the run.
They're number one in the league stopping the run. Well, I kept saying, well, that's partly because they were so bad on the back end that people would just throw and throw parties on them.
Right.
But in this case, can Williams and Edwards-Helaire, can they even
Le'Veon
make a
is
dent?
back.
Le'Veon will be back. That's a good point. Can they make a dent? Can they play enough keep away? Can they keep this front honest enough that it can't just come after Patrick Mahomes?
They're going to have to. And a lot of times, Skip, that short passing game is an extension of the run. In the West Coast system, Coach Walsh believed the 5-yard check down, the flat route to the running back was just as good as handing the ball off, getting 3 to 4 yards.
Yep.
So you might see that. You might see Le'Veon. You might see Edwards-Helaire. You might see Williams catch a few more passes.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, they're not going to let Tyreek get behind them. So I don't believe.
Well, I hope not after he got 203 in the first quarter.
I don't think they're going to let Tyreek. But the thing is, Skip, is that you want to try to limit him in space also. You worried about him getting behind you, but he catches the ball in space and faces you up. Well, you better hope the cavalry's coming because you're not getting him down for where he catches the ball at.
I agree. So who's the best game planner in pro football, especially if you give him 2 weeks? I'll give it to Andy Reid.
Yes.
He's really good at what he does. I think Tom Brady's really good if you give him 2 weeks to game plan. But let's flip it around and say, can Andy Reid sort of plug the leaks? Can he figure out a way? Well, to your point, you can plug that leak, but can you plug that one and that one and that one?
Exactly.
And do you have to account for what if they do start sending Devin White or Levante? What if the backers start coming? Can this inexperienced group together, will they have enough cohesion to pick up blitzes, corner blitz? They'll throw a corner blitz. Will they be well schooled enough to figure it out on the fly? I don't know. This will be Andy Reid's ultimate test of trying to protect a young quarterback who, by the way, just recently had a concussion. He's had a turf toe, They're going to bring the heat.
This is going to be as healthy as he's been in a very long time with the week off in between.
Sure.
And that's one of the reasons why the NFL went to that extra week.
I
because
agree.
there are a lot of guys that were playing in championship games that would be banged up, that would get an opportunity. Had they had an extra week, Skip, they possibly could have played or at least been pretty close to healthy. Now, this is as healthy as Mahomes will have been since the start of the season with this week off.
Okay. So my final knock on wood for both teams, just for all our sake, is there's also one other, quote unquote, injury threat out there, and it's called COVID-19. And I just hope they both can avoid any breakdowns.
Well, the thing is, Skip, is that they're going to get tested twice
a day,
morning and the afternoon. Families start coming in probably around Thursday, and I think that's a lot has to do to deter them. Look, I understand your family's here, but don't run the risk. The question is, Skip, Tom Brady, Pat Mahomes get COVID. What you think happening?
Let them play? Is that what you're saying?
You'll never know. We'll never know.
Unless they're sick.
Yeah, well, they better be heaving. Skip, you can't push the Super Bowl back. You can't say, well, we're going to push it back.
I agree. Well, Bruce Arians blurted out yesterday that Ronald Jones had COVID, and they didn't announce that.
Exactly.
He did?
Hey, he was around the team.
I thought he had a bad ankle or something, but
he's sitting on the bench.
How did you get through that one? I don't know.
No. Let's just hope we don't have to deal with any of these situations.
I hope.
Please.
They need to play this game on Sunday.
I'm so glad that we've gotten through the season. Let's end on a good note. We have a matchup to look forward to.
No mercy.
Hey, Undisputed listeners, it's Charlotte Wilder here to tell you about my new podcast with Mark Titus called the People Sports Podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and Mark and I take one of the big stories of the week, and then we go off on tangents you never saw coming. This might mean that we start talking about the Dodgers winning the World Series and end up wondering if Knicks fans deserve happiness. Or begin with LeBron's greatness and end up drafting our ultimate beer league softball team made up of old athletes. Whatever it is, the only rule of the show is that it has to be fun and funny, because these days we could all use as many laughs as we can get. So check it out wherever you get your podcasts and come down weird sports rabbit holes with us. We can't wait to have you.
No mercy.
Texans' new head coach David Culley is confident Deshaun Watson will be his quarterback next season. Culley told reporters Deshaun is, quote, a Houston Texan, and I want him to be a Houston Texan. And the reason I'm in this position today is because I knew he was going to be a Houston Texan. So, Shannon, from what you're hearing, will Deshaun have any second thoughts because of David Culley?
No. And David Cullen is saying all the right things. I took this job. It didn't matter who the quarterback was. It was an opportunity to be a head coach, Skip. He was taking the job regardless. From what my sources have relayed to me is that Deshaun is steadfast in what he wants. He believes the only reason they circled back and started interviewing minorities was because he had gotten upset, and so he doesn't trust them. And so with that being said, I still believe Deshaun Watson will be traded. Deshaun Watson no longer wants to be there. He doesn't trust the people above the head coach. And so for me, nothing changes. I understand they hired an African American. I understand he's very highly thought of. But in my mind, this changes nothing.
So I'm interpreting David Culley's opening statement differently than you are. And yet I defer to you on all things Deshaun because you've been way ahead of the curve in reporting his feelings. And his bridge, you report, is burned to the ground. So why would David Culley say, the reason I'm in this position today is because I knew he's going to be a Houston Texan? I translate that to say, I'm counting on it. That's why I came here, is because they guaranteed me he's going to be a Houston Texan.
If David Culley was a gambling man, I'd be willing to bet him a couple of $100,000.
Okay. Well, think about his plight right now. He's 65 years of age. He has paid dues like few have ever paid dues in this league or college football, because he's been, I think I counted the other day, 14 stops in college and pro football. And
the military don't even move you that much, Skip.
And he finally got his dream job at age 65 to go to the Houston Texans. And I'm sure his first thought was, Deshaun, I got a shot.
Right.
No, Deshaun, I got no shot. Because he was obviously the only African-American coach hired in this cycle of the 7 open jobs.
Right.
To bring the grand total of African-American coaches, black head coaches in this league, to Mike Tomlin, Brian Flores, and David Culley. Period. End of story.
Right.
And if Deshaun is truly out, then this African-American coach is not going to last that long in Houston, right?
It's just like Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes didn't have he got Josh Rosen, he got 1 year. And that's normally what happens, Skip. You see what he did with his page? He took down all things Houston Texans, referred all inquiries to his agent.
And he called himself the athlete because the new GM, Caserio from New England, obviously had called him the player.
Yes.
Isn't that like a Parcells-like reference to
with T.O.
Terrell Owens? Yep.
Now, John McClain, Skip, reported for the Houston. He's been writing for the Houston Chronicle for 35 years.
Yep.
He says it's going to take 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and 2 starters, young players.
Okay.
So
good luck. And yet, it's possible Houston would sit back and say, we just gave you the sun and the moon, because it's 4 years, $156 million extension.
Right.
So he's under contract through 2025.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yep. And it's possible they would play hardball, just as you told me that Deshaun is going to play hardball. Well, if he starts missing camp, that meter's going to start running on the fine.
Remember, Skip, James Harden. They're like, oh, we're going to say until we get what it was.
I got
and
you.
then at some point in time.
Don't think Deshaun didn't watch that unfold.
At some point in time, it becomes better for you to just move on. You're hearing reports that J.J. Watt might want out.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
So for me, Skip, look, I don't know what was promised to him in actuality. You know, you hear this was promised, but for whatever reason.
To Culley, you mean?
No, to Deshaun.
To Deshaun. Okay, I thought you meant to David Culley.
But for whatever reason, for him to take the steps that he's taking, not returning their calls, have no interest in talking to them.
Yep.
He's removed everything Houston Texans from his page. You put him into a place where he said, Skip, and he's 25. How did it get so bad for a 25-year-old and the ownership and the team to get to this because we've never seen this before in the history of football. We've never seen this.
Yep.
A guy this talented to play that position says, I'm done, I'm out.
Nope, unheard of. It would also be unheard of if they actually moved him. It just doesn't happen.
No, it doesn't happen.
Okay? So help me out here. Did the Texans attempt to seek the approval of Deshaun on David Culley? Because I told you the other day when the story broke, it was reported that David Culley helped coach him at the Pro Bowl last year and that he and Deshaun clicked.
Man, it's the Pro Bowl. You just try to get out there and just try to do your thing. You ain't been paying no attention to who can coach you.
But at least Deshaun would have some feel for his personality and how he interacts.
Man, Skip, at the Pro Bowl, everybody's on their best behavior. Everybody's just like trying to get point A to point B. Nobody wants to get hurt. Let me try to win this $35,000, or it might be $50,000 for the winners now, and get on up out of here. The way it was told to me is that Deshaun was assured that he would be kept in the loop, general manager and head coach.
And he was not with the GM.
He was not.
Okay, and then he's completely out after that.
Because he told me what you were going to do. And then he got the report that it was 2 minorities in the final running. The other guy was not
GM.
For GM. 2 minorities. Somehow they forego what the company they paid millions to come up with this list.
The search firm.
Firm. They forego that to go get someone else from the New England Patriots organization. At that point in time, it's like, okay, I can't trust you. You said one thing, you did something entirely different.
Okay, so I defer to you on this one. But do you think, just knowing what you know from a distance, in Deshaun's heart of hearts, will he feel any guilt is too strong, but to leave David Culley behind, just leave him in a lurch?
No.
Would he feel any sort of emotion for David Culley? Like,
yeah, I hate to leave a brother stranded, but at this point in time, Skip, I'm stranded.
Okay, I got it.
I don't trust you.
Yep.
And I appreciate what you've done. You welcome me, Houston, the city of Houston, welcome me with open arm. Appreciate with the McNairs. But I think I've built up enough cachet. When you tell me something, you adhere to what you said you were going to do.
Yep.
If you had basically said, bruh, you player, we front office, we gonna run the show. But once you tell me we're gonna do things, if you say we gonna partner this, it's like any relationship. If you say we partners in this, we gonna make decisions together, and then all of a sudden you go buy a car without consulting the other party, it's gonna be a problem, Skip.
Yep. If they are forced to move Deshaun, I think David Culley is going to be devastated, and I think he's going to second guess taking this job. He had he's always been the assistant head coach to Andy Reid for years and years, and to obviously John Harbaugh in Baltimore. And he might say, why did I inflict this upon myself? Because it's going to be disastrous.
Maybe they told him because maybe he wasn't going to be willing to accept the job if he knew Deshaun wasn't going to be there. So they tell him, oh, Deshaun's not going anywhere. We're not trading Deshaun.
Okay.
He signs on, and now guess what?
So is it possible David Culley got taken for the same ride that Deshaun felt he got taken for?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Because, I mean, you're not going to... Because, Skip, it's an unwinnable task going into a situation when you don't have great quarterback play. It's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's not if, it's just when.
You can't overcome it.
You're on borrowed time.
You can't. You're so up against it, it's impossible to overcome it. You can't fake out of it unless you're the 2000 Ravens.
Right.
And you got Big Play Shea on one side, and he can give you one a game, and you got that defense, but they don't.
Right, and it's a different game now, Skip.
Yeah, it is.
And you see now Steve Wilkes went from being the head coach at the Arizona Cardinals, now he's the DC at Missouri. You see how fast that happens, Skip? Just like that. You don't have a quarterback?
Okay. Do you have any sympathy, just you personally, for David Culley?
I would like to see him in a situation. I would like to see him in far too many times African-American get jobs where they don't have that and there's no way they can succeed. You look at Marvin Lewis, he got a job, but he got Cincinnati. He got the worst job in football. Or they send him there, they send Denny Green to Arizona. Or they get, you get jobs like that. You get Cleveland. You ain't get no, now, to the Rooney's credit, They gave Mike Tomlin. But the Cowboys and the Giants and all these Green Bays, you ain't getting those jobs.
Yep.
That have quarterbacks in position, you're not getting that. So you basically take what you can get.
I realized Marvin did not win a playoff game. What was he, 0 for 7?
0 for 7.
But he did pretty well in this. In fact, he did very well under those circumstances.
Think about, Skip, you think about what Marvin did. Cincinnati had gone longer without making the playoff than what Tampa did before they got Brady.
Okay.
And he did that. And he went, granted, he didn't win a playoff game, but the teams that were in the division was winning the playoff games and winning the Super Bowl, the Steelers and the Ravens.
Yeah, well, he got them to the playoffs 7 times. It's hard to do.
It's hard to do. But, I just don't... It's going to probably get messy. I mean, but they're asking for a king's ransom, and they just saw what Matthew Stafford fetched. Here's a guy that's 8 years younger than Stafford.
Yep.
So 2 1s, 2 2s might not be out of the...
I got it.
And plus, Skip, you said if you can get that guy, you move heaven and earth to do it.
You just do it. I would agree.
No mercy.
The Lakers ended their 2-game road losing streak over the weekend by edging out the Celtics 96-95. Anthony Davis led the team in scoring with 27 points to go along with 14 rebounds. The Lakers held on for the win despite not scoring in the final minute and 40 seconds of the game thanks to missed shots by both LeBron and AD, along with another LeBron turnover. So, Shannon, do you have a problem with how the Lakers ended this game?
No, because I thought they played well. They did a great job of playing defense. Skip held the Celtics to 17 points in the fourth quarter. Forced 7 turnovers. They only turned the ball over. They had them down for once, but the one that LeBron had, but I think that was a turnover that AD when Kemba Walker stepped in and ripped the ball out of his hand. But give Caruso credit. He got back, would not let Jaylen Brown get an uncontested layup. They scrambled and got to guys. So give them credit, and that's what you need, Skip. Sometimes you're going to win games like this here. To hold that team with that talent, Jaylen Brown shot 68%. He was 13 of 19. He had 28. Jason Tatum, 12 of 18. He had 30. So to do what they did and to hold this team that has the firepower that they have to 95 points, 17 in the fourth quarter, I thought they did a great job. But the thing that got them in trouble, Skip, they had a nice lead. And then what happened? The 2 turnovers late. Jason Tatum hit some tough shots. I mean, he hit a shot over AD in the lane. Skip, the kid can play. That young fella, he's only getting better. Jaylen Brown, I don't know what he did this offseason, Skip, but he came back, and everybody keeps talking about Tatum, and Tatum is unbelievable.
Yeah.
But Jaylen Brown is every step the player that he is. And he has a tough assignment, Skip, because they have to do it on the other end. He normally guards one of the better players on the defensive end. So he has his work cut out for him. But I like what I saw from the Lakers. We just need to get, Skip, we got to get more out of Marc Gasol. Right now, he's giving us nothing.
What did I tell you before you started? Huh? He's glacial.
Skip. And then what he's doing is that he's taxing the bench. Because he gets in foul trouble so early. Now we got to go to Trez. And Trez, I get it. Trez is a great guy, but you got to put him on Embiid. You're going to have to do, what are you going to do with Gobert? Or what's he going to do with Yoke? You saw what Yoke did yesterday, Skip. So that's my only concern.
This was Daniel Tice.
Yes.
They're not a big team.
No.
They start a small team.
They start a very small team, which plays into our hands because, our best lineup, Skip, is really AD at the 5. That's really our better team. Well, you put Trez at the 5 and AD at the 4. But our best unit is when Gasol, unfortunately, is not on the floor.
Somebody saw that coming. Okay, so I have a question that I'm going to ask repeatedly, I believe, throughout this season, and I'll ask it off Saturday night's game. Who is your closer? Because I can't find him.
It all depends who's hot.
That?
Normally, it's LeBron or AD. And we tried to go give it to AD. AD had it going, was playing very well. So LeBron, he was going to get the last shot. And Kemba Walker did a great job of sneaking in there and pulling it out and getting it out. So those are our closers. AD and LeBron James. LeBron James, AD.
At Milwaukee were KCP and Alex Caruso hit 2 huge threes down the stretch to stave off the rally.
Skip, they didn't stave off no rally. You see what Bron did, 13 and 2.
Okay, so let's look hard at what happened at the end of this game. LeBron did hit a couple of threes in the mid-fourth quarter. One was wide open because Kemba made a stupid play where you throw it back in bounds. on the Lakers' end, and it left LeBron just standing there wide open. Oh, I got this, and he made it. And then he felt hot-handed and confident enough from three that he made another one, and all of a sudden they're up. Let's see, that put them up 6 points. So now down the stretch over the last 4 minutes, LeBron tried another three with 51.7 seconds left to basically
we'll end it. We're going to end it.
Here it is.
We're going to end it.
This is going to end the game if you make this one, and he LeBricks. And then we have another play with 39.4 seconds left. Here's one more look at this LeBron. He just said, I got this, I don't got this. A little long. And then we got this play from LeBron. 39 seconds left. He's dribbling, and whoops, he dribbled it off his own foot.
Skip, the man slip. You saw him slip. You saw him slip. Now, don't do that, Skip.
No, he dribbled the ball. He didn't slip before he dribbled it. He dribbled the ball off his foot, and it went out of bounds.
So that's the first time that's ever happened?
No, and it happens, but I'm just showing you what happened down the stretch to this team. You're starting to come apart. So now Jason Tatum is heated up. And here he comes, and now it's one last possession for the Lakers. And if we could see it unfold, I'm saying, LeBron, just take it. Drive it, do something. Oh, he thought about it.
That's what he wanted to do. That's the guy we wanted with the ball right there.
Okay, go. No, AD says no. Oh, that was it. We didn't see the extended play because there were several passes where they went back and forth with each other between LeBron and AD. Hot potato. I got it. You got it. I got it.
That's how you scramble. Okay. That's how you scramble to play defense. Now, had that been the Nets, that'd have been a layup on the other end. Woo-hoo, ball game, because we just saw it happen last night. Pick it up.
Caruso made a hellacious defensive play to sprint back and stop the dunk.
The Caruso.
Okay? All right, the Caruso can really play defense. I'm going to give you that.
Yes.
But then you get Kemba, who gets his signature step back, and it's from like 15, 16 feet. And here's that last play. This is AD. He finally says, I'll try this. And he tries to dribble into the middle. And Kemba just takes it away from him, basically. And here comes Kemba. Nope, no layup there. And it swings to Kemba, who is at this point 1 for 11. And that made him 1 for 12. You were lucky he was so cold. And then Daniel Tice gets about as easy a putback as you can get. Huh?
It wouldn't have counted.
Yes, it would have. It would have counted. He thought it was a body foul. He thought he got shoved on as he started to shoot. There was no hand foul of this. We could see it one more time. Kemba. On any other night, Kemba makes this shot, but that made him 1 for 12, and Tice is up, and that's going to count.
Let me ask you a question, Skip. So you wanted Jaylen Brown to shoot 68%, Jason Tatum to shoot 67%, and you wanted Kemba to what, shoot 60%? So you want three guys to shoot in the 60s.
Well, I want Kemba to do better than 1 for 12. How many nights has he been 1 for 12 in his life?
Well, I mean, look at LeBron was 7 of 17. Marc Gasol was 0 for. KCP was 0 for. Schroeder was 3 of 8. Can we get somebody to shoot better?
Okay, so that final possession, LeBron and AD are going back and forth, back and forth. If you're the GOAT, if you're the best player on the planet, if you are leading the MVP race at this moment, as everybody says LeBron is except me, then you just close that deal. You say, okay, you don't want it, I got it, I'll take it. I'll take that shot, I'll drive it, I'll go shoot the free throws, I'll do whatever it takes to get this game home. And he didn't.
We've seen the Nets lose ball games close. So who's their closer?
Okay, they got 3 closers.
So why they not closing?
Well,
they had 2 of them last night, so why didn't they close that game?
Okay, because it's ridiculous, because Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook made 2 absurd threes. The game was completely over.
So in other words, you got to play defense, which we played on a scramble to get back. Think about it. We stopped the layup, and then we scrambled. Nobody got an uncontested shot. They passed the ball to Kemba, and Dennis Dominguez right there in his job. So now what?
Now what? Nobody can close. So if you have these games, if you can just blow people away and dominate, which you're capable of doing, you're fine. But if it comes down to crunch time, clutch time, last 3 or 4 minutes, everybody's saying, who's going to do this? Who's going to take the shot?
Did you see? Had we not lost this game to Philly, did you see what we did to Philly? Had a great call to timeout, got a great play. AD going to the bucket, had a lead.
That was good.
Okay, they win the ball game when Tobias Harris hits a big-time shot. Okay, I get that. But at some point in time, it's nice to have offensive guys that can go put the ball in the bucket. But you got to be able to play defense, and that's what we were able to do. 2 guys shoot over 60%, and you hold them to less than 100 points.
how many nights is Kemba going to go 1 for 12? He might go 5 for 20, but that's 5. That'd be where he'd have double-digit points. And he wound up with 4 points in 28 minutes.
First of all, y'all shot 48% from the floor. We shot 44. We shot 29% from the 3. Y'all shot 28% from the 3. We both of us was terrible from the free throw line. So what's the difference? We found a way to win because guess what? When your offense isn't clicking, can you lock in defensively? We didn't give you nothing cheap. You didn't get a layup. You didn't get a dunk. Everybody was scrambling, closing out. Nobody got an uncontested shot. Normally what happens when you scrambling around like that, somebody gets an uncontested shot. It didn't happen.
So help me out with this. How is Kawhi Leonard now 91% from the free throw line after he made 11 of 11 yesterday at the Garden against the Knicks? And LeBron is 20 percentage points lower at 71%, which is actually up from 69 last year and 67 the year before. I don't get that.
And guess what? He should have been 91% the one he missed in that finals to let LeBron James get back into the game 6. He can't live. He can shoot 100%, but he can't get that one back.
Well, he was 19 at that point.
You got nothing to do with it. Yeah, we put foots in 19, 18. If you're in the NBA, we'll put foots in you. That's what Bron did.
Well, it just seems like if LeBron could make those late-game free throws, you'd have a closer because he could just say, I can freight train. Nobody can stop me from the basket. And if they want to foul me, I'll just go up there and ice in my veins.
In the fourth quarter, who had the highest plus-minus in the fourth quarter? Of all the time, everybody that stepped on the floor, who had the highest plus-minus in the fourth quarter? Because that won the game and won the loss, right, Skip Bayless?
Yeah.
Who was it?
Well, Jason Tatum outscored LeBron.
Oh, he had 8 points. LeBron had 7. Well, if you don't mind me asking, since you want to bring Jason Tatum into this, what was his plus-minus? One guy was a +10, the other guy was a -10. Now, I want you to tell the people at home because they don't have the shot sheet like we got.
I agree with your opening point. Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum.
I ain't getting into that.
And these Celtics have really been struggling. They're now 10-8.
Oh, now they're struggling.
I just don't love them. I don't love them. I told you who the East is. The East is the Nets and the Sixers.
Hold on. I'm trying to figure this out. They struggling. Now, the Wizards got 4 wins, Jenny. Guess who 2 of those wins against? I give you one guess. They got 4 wins. 2 of them came against who, Skip? When they had all of them out there. Now, I want you to tell the people at home who are 2 of the 4 wins the Wizards have are against. Because they don't know right now. Now, it's the Brooklyn Nets.
Okay, I told you, Westbrook is obsessed.
Oh, now he Westbrook. Hold on. You know Atlanta just did a number on the Wizards, right? Beat them by 20. Ice Trade dropped 41.
Yep.
Now, who we got tonight, Skip?
You got Atlanta.
Okay, then. And now let me guess, you're going to be cheering for Ice Trade tonight, aren't you?
My straight, yep. I'll be cheering for him.
Of course. Well, finally, the last game of this road trip. They've been on the road forever at this point, the Lakers.
Deadly.
Them home at this
2
point.
weeks.
No mercy.
New tracks, new teams, and a new champ. The 2021 NASCAR season starts in just 2 weeks with the Great American Race, the Daytona 500, February 14th, only on Fox. Can't believe it's racing season already, guys. According to multiple reports, the Rams and Lions made a blockbuster trade over the weekend. Matthew Stafford will be heading to L.A. in exchange for Jared Goff, 2 first-round draft picks, and a 3rd-round draft pick. After the news, the Rams jumped from the 9th to the 6th best odds to win next year's Super Bowl, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Fox Sports NFL analyst Michael Vick is now joining us. Mike, this news was pretty crazy over the weekend. So in your opinion, is Matthew Stafford good enough to lead the Rams to a Super Bowl?
Yeah, Jenny, this was big news over the weekend, and I didn't expect Stafford to land in L.A., but hey, I thought it was a good move. And while I do think Matt Stafford has done some amazing things in his career, I do know that it's a lot of obstacles and hurdles that he still have to overcome. But being paired with Sean McVay, one of the greater offensive minds in the game right now, I think is what he needs. I think it's probably the best offensive system that he's going to be in since Jim Caldwell left. Now, I don't know all the guys who done came and went, but I do know that Jim Caldwell had a lot of success under with Matt Stafford, and Matt Stafford probably can attest to that. But he can make every throw. It's no defense that he hasn't seen. Obviously, quarterbacks are judged based on wins and losses in the playoffs, and the resume is not there for him. But it's never too late. So I do think it ups their chances. And Jared Goff, he had his moments. He did some great things. Matthew Stafford, overpromise, or over-deliver. I think it's all there for him. So, I thought it was a good move. It's great to see Goff go land somewhere where he can be, productive, and hopefully that'll work out for him. But I think in terms of Matt Stafford right now, this is his shot. This is his moment and his opportunity.
I believe he is good enough for the simple fact of where he landed. And that, as you said, Mike, there's a lot of empty boxes on his resume as far as playoffs, winning division, Skip. Those are boxes unchecked currently. If you ask me, I don't know how Fox Bet has it or whomever does this, but probably the NFC favorites next year will probably be Packers, Bucs, and Rams. Now, I don't know what order, maybe the Packers, maybe the Bucs, if they were to win it, but I believe there's no way the Rams are anything less than the third favorite to come out of the NFC.
Agreed.
Given Matthew Stafford, given Sean McVay's resume, and the mere fact that they even thought about saying, you know what, if Jared Goff were to come back, he's going to have to compete with a guy that you just gave $130 million, Skip, and you're going to open it up to a competition. That lets you know Jared Goff was going to be out the door. Mm-hmm. I like this. I like the match. We did this earlier, Mike, and Skip asked me what grade I gave it. I gave it a C, not because I don't think Matthew Stafford is talented, because I think he's immensely talented. I love him going into this situation. But as we talked about it before, no division titles, he hasn't won a playoff game, and he's had some talented guys on his roster. Calvin Johnson, Roy Williams, Golden Tate, Marvin Jones Sr. He had a Reggie Bush and Joy Bell, Skip, when they had a nice little running combination.
They did.
So he's underachieved given the level of talent that he is, and maybe we're going to chalk it up to Detroit. Because Detroit folks, Barry Sanders retired year 10, and Megatron retired year 9.
Yep.
So maybe that has something to do with it. But he's in the ideal situation, and if you say, does he have enough to help the Rams get to the Super Bowl? It's a definitive yes.
Okay. Michael Vick, before I go, I'm going to hand the ball back to you because I want to know what you really think of Matthew Stafford. You've watched him for a long time. You've competed against him. What reservations would you have about him in his rebirth here in L.A.?
It's funny you asked that question, Skip, because I was just watching his highlights and just in my mind thinking about the battles that me and Matt had. I came to Detroit in 2010 and I knocked him off, and he let me get away with one. He was actually up 14. We spotted him, 2 touchdowns, and I was able to come back, thank God. And in 2012, came down, and I remember vividly the defense, Dominic Sue, Vanden Bosch. They had some guys who could rush the passer, and I watched Matthew Stafford benefit from a defense that had prowess, that could play all out. And he played really well. They beat us in overtime. And I remember watching him and saying he's the future of the NFL. And he was maybe in his 3rd or 4th year at the time. But, throughout those years, I haven't seen a drop-off in his production. And like Shay said, some guys have come and gone, and he's had some talented guys around him. But, it comes down to the little things sometimes. It could just be the defense. It could be the coaching staff. It could be the offense. It's always something. And it has to click and it has to gel. But over the years and watching Matt Stafford, I'm pleased with his career. I'm pleased with the things that he's done. I'm happy that he's getting a fresh start and, has an opportunity to play with one of the greater offensive minds in the game in Sean McVay.
I agree, which is why I gave this trade an A+, because Matt Staffords don't grow on Southern California trees out here. You can't just snap your fingers and say, I want that guy, and they pulled it off. They had to pay royally for him, but they got out from under a guy that they were done with, another first pick in the draft, obviously, in Jared Goff.
First time that's ever happened. Well, OJ was traded, but they didn't know that Kuzma who was going to be the first pick the following year.
Bingo. But in Matthew Stafford, you get what I think is a sleeping giant who was brought down by a franchise that was mostly sorry around him. He's going to be playing with the best team he's ever played with, both on offense and defense. And again, I'm not saying he has better weapons than he's had in Detroit, but listen, Cooper Kupp and the rest of the receivers, Robert Woods, and Cam Akers had his coming out party last year. And that offensive line is top 5 to me. And as you guys both say, Sean McVay, he can really coach it up when it comes to that West Coast offense. The defense is maybe second to none. It's still coming of age, but as it continues to explode on people, man, you got a team that I think will challenge the Bucs and certainly the Packers to win the NFC next year. And I'm going to quickly read this quote because I really think it sums up Matthew Stafford. I read it earlier in the show, but it's Bruce Arians, who obviously has coached Peyton and Big Ben, Luck, Carson Palmer, and this is Bruce Arians on Matthew Stafford. He said, he's one of my all-time favorite guys. He's tough as nails. Like I said the other day, he's one of the few quarterbacks I like going out and watching warm up. Just watching him throw because he's so special. I've always felt like he was one of the top 4 or 5 guys in this league for a long time. Like I said, he's as tough as nails, and his guys know it. They know he's going to suck it up for them. Well, as Shannon has pointed out, he's been beat up. He's been beat all to hell. But he only missed the back 8 games in 2018. And if you go all the way back to 2011, those are the only 8 games he missed. He did start all the games last year, beat all to hell as he was. So is he cumulative, beaten up? Michael knows how that feels late in your career. I just think this is like a rebirth in Southern California. And Michael's talked about how good it feels to wake up every morning with that eucalyptus tree smell outside. You just feel revitalized here.
What concerns me about him is that he is prone to the turnover at the most inopportune times. And that's what, when guys, big arm guys, Mike, and you know this, big arm guys, sometimes they overestimate their ability and they force things when they don't need to. The one thing that you can always say about Tom, there are very few times that you like, Tom, why you throw that? Especially in big moments. Yeah. Now, the NFC Championship game last week, notwithstanding, he made some mistakes that we really rarely have ever seen Tom Brady make. But you rarely see Tom in a situation where it's like, nah, hey, I'll check it down, I'll do the incompletion. I'm not going to force it and turn the ball over. That's the thing that Sean McVay is going to caution Matthew Stafford against. We cannot turn the football over. And if you take care of the football, I told Skip this. He'll be in the MVP conversation in this offense.
He will.
With his skill set. He will be in the MVP conversation.
Yeah, well, when you're in Detroit, you got to take chances. I'll tell you that. Just from watching him on film and watching him versus opponents over the years, he had no choice but to take chances. So the turnovers are going to show up. But, you know, in this case for Matt Stafford, I think the biggest thing and the biggest caveat is he inherits a defense. Inheriting defense, you're going to get more opportunities in. With his arm strength, with his competence of the game and his knowledge of the game, he's going to take a lot of chances and all for the good. So I'm excited about this move. I can't wait to see. If I had to give it a grade, I'd give it a B grade.
It's great. I mean, hey, they gave a king's ransom, but
it's good for football.
No.
No. Come on, give it a B.
Skip, like I said, 33 years of age with the injury history. And Skip, if he had won one division, if he had won one playoff game, I said, okay, Skip, they got something. But Skip, he couldn't beat the Bears and Jay Cutler.
All of a sudden, 33 is young in this league.
Huh?
All of a sudden, 33 is young in the league.
It is. Tom Brady done moved the median age to like 37, 38. Now it used to be 30 was old for a quarterback. Now it's like 35, 36.
Tom Brady's just getting started.
They better be lucky I landed in a good spot. They better be lucky I landed in a good spot in the greatest platform on the earth in Fox. Or I'll be making my run.
Bingo.
The mix hurt, Mike. The mix hurt. You've been out too long.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I don't want no more of that.
Tom is changing everything for all of us. Shannon, you mentioned it earlier with Fox Bet. I confirmed it is the Rams have the 3rd best odds in the NFC behind Green Bay. And, of course, Tampa. So, yes, I'm confirming that number for you. Mike, we appreciate your time. We'll check in with you very soon.
No mercy.
Well, yes, I know we know this by now, but Tom Brady is on his way to another Super Bowl, and LeBron has been busy posting on social media about the quarterback's greatness. LeBron also told reporters over the weekend a similarity between the two superstars. LeBron said, quote, "At our age, we can still dominate our sport. We have one common goal, and that's to win and win at the highest level. So, Shannon, why does LeBron keep bringing up Brady on social media?
Well, I think what both guys have done is that they made us reevaluate and rethink what we think of a great player once upon a time as they start to age. How are they able to maintain that level of greatness? We've never seen anything like Tom Brady, and we've never seen anything like LeBron James, a guy that's in year 18, still playing at the level. And they put the stat on the screen in which Karl Malone in year 18 averaged 20 points a game. LeBron is 25. Kareem was at 17.5. And some of the other greats, Skip, LeBron, Dirk Nowitzki, LeBron is 7, 8, 10 points better than some of the historically great players. So they're forced us to reevaluate. We've never seen a guy like Tom Brady. Tom Brady is playing in his third Super Bowl after the age of 40. So LeBron is saying, yes, even at the age where normally basketball players would be on the decline, I'm still on the uptick. Tom Brady, when guys got grandkids at Tom Brady's age, and he's in the Super Bowl. He's saying, but we forced you to look at how players of our age that you think, well, they can't do this much longer, still continue to do it. And he's saying, because winning is the most important thing. Skip, look, I'm not gonna sit here and say, you don't think Tom Brady would like to win an MVP? Tom Brady puts the work in. He says, you know what? Winning is the most important thing. Anything that comes along with me winning, I would gladly accept. If that's an MVP, I'm going to take that. Winning, that means that gets us wins the division, gets us home field, we'll take that. Super Bowl, yes, that's the end-all, be-all for those guys. But anything that comes along with that, I'm going to take it. LeBron James says he understands. The finals is what he's measured by. Tom Brady's measured by Super Bowls. Anything that comes along with that, they graciously accept. Tom is in the media, but these two guys, Skip, when you think about LeBron at 36, 18 years in the league, playing at the level that he's played at, Tom Brady, year 21, playing at the level, that's the correlation, Skip. He's not trying, trust me, LeBron James don't need to piggyback off no one. No one.
Well, forgive me, but it sure smells like LeBron is trying to ride Brady's coattails.
For what? Why?
It's called GOAT by association. If you associate with the GOAT on social media, then people are going to think, oh, it's GOAT talking about GOAT.
Actually, it's not. I lived on a farm. Goats were they're in the pen with hogs, they're in the pen with cows, and I never thought a goat was a pig. I never thought it was a cow.
The acronym is greatest of all time.
That'd be GOAT James.
So we're not talking about barnyard tin can eating goats. We're talking about greatest of all time.
When you're looking at it.
And the one on the left is the no doubt GOAT. The one on the right is trying to convince the world that he's the GOAT when it's obviously Michael Jordan. Did Michael Jordan try to glom on to Joe Montana while he was playing and try to create fame by association? He didn't need to.
But here's the thing. Joe was not playing at the level that Tom is playing this late in his career. Michael Jordan was retired, remember? And then he came back later. So what we're seeing, Skip, is we're seeing two guys that were historically great for such a long period of time, and that they're still playing. 43, and he's playing like that. 36, and he's still doing this. You said LeBron need to take some nights off. He's taking no nights off, and he's giving you 25, 7, and 7 on a nightly basis.
He will pay for that.
Yeah, he's going to pay for it. When he's all said and done, he's going to be 40,000 points and with 6 or 7 championships. That's how he's going to pay for it.
Longevity stats, that's all he's got left, is try to do it as long as I can to say, look what I built. Isn't that enough to be the GOAT?
So Tom Brady got those 7 Super Bowl appearances in 10 years or 21 years?
Tom Brady won his first 3 Super Bowls, one in his first year as starter, and then his third and fourth year as starter, he won his first 3 Super Bowls. The night that LeBron finally broke through against the baby Thunder of Oklahoma City, he grabbed the microphone on ABC Live National TV and said, it's about damn time. Remember that?
Yeah.
Because it took him a while to pull that one off, right?
Well, so if we do it like that, well, Magic won his first one his rookie year.
Okay, so Brady did it early, and now he's doing it late.
Right.
And I wouldn't put it past him not only to win this one, but maybe another one, maybe another 3. Who knows the way he's going.
My goodness.
Well, I'm just telling you, you said there's no way he's getting to this year's Super Bowl, and he's there, and it's the first time we've ever seen a home team in a Super Bowl. How does he do it? I don't know.
But well, you said go, everybody, hold on. You remember when LeBron moved to L.A.? You told me he wanted to be Michael B. Jordan.
He did.
And Rob Parker, Detroit, told me he wanted to be Kevin Hart. Now, he comes out here. He can't do what he's doing in the West. He can't do what he did in the East and the West. He wins the title.
He missed the playoffs his first year.
He missed the title this year. He got the title.
He needed to go get Anthony Davis.
So what did Tom Brady do? Tom Brady had to go get the most talented offensive unit he'd ever been around.
I told you, what have I always told you, and you scoff at it, that man on the left did more with less in New England than anybody's ever done in the history of this league.
And then all of a sudden he needed more to do less.
Well, who wouldn't want more?
Okay, so what are you talking? So Skip, so how are you beating up LeBron James that he needed Anthony Davis in year 17? You didn't got no problem with him needing more help.
Okay, what's the more valuable acquisition, Anthony Davis or joining the Buccaneers, who went 7-9 last year?
Skip,
7-9?
Skip, Anthony Davis was a historically great player.
He was.
But what was his record in New Orleans?
Okay, but he was PER Prince.
Okay.
Player efficiency rating, he just led it every other year.
So what was Chris Godwin? You love Pro Football Focus.
Mm-hmm.
What was Chris Godwin rated as in Pro Football Focus when Tom Brady got there?
He was ranked #1, and it got him where?
Okay.
It
Mike
got him
Evans.
nowhere.
Oh, that's my point. Okay, AD was the PER Princess. Where did they get him?
Just Prince, not Princess.
Probably Prince. He was the PR Prince. Where did they get him?
It didn't get him much.
Thank you.
I always question that. But if you put them together, obviously, you've got something.
Just like Tom Brady, you put him with Tampa, and you got something. Skip, this is not the 0-26 Bucs.
No.
You keep your worst franchise at the Succaneers. They
were.
Skip.
Historically the worst. Winning percentage-wise, what was it? 346.346% of the games they'd won. It's horrendously bad.
We're going to talk about this in the next segment. Tom Brady left a great winning organization with no talent to go join a losing organization that was littered with talent.
Yeah, I'm not sure littered.
Skip,
How about the secondary? You haven't liked it all year. Is it littered with
Tom
talent?
Brady don't play in the secondary. The offense was top 5 rated. The receivers was #1 rated. Offensive line was top 10 rated. What did he leave in New England? Was anything rated besides X-rated? Trash, terrible.
Dead last in separation.
Okay,
I kept telling you, said, well, he's the GOAT. Well, even the GOAT, he can't throw it to himself. Thank you, Giselle, for that.
But LeBron James, when LeBron James says he needs help, Michael Jordan would have never said he needed help.
He didn't.
Okay. Why Tom Brady leave New England?
Well, he's 43 years of age.
What got it? LeBron James, 36.
For 19 years, he did something with virtually nothing.
Skip, you saw the teams that LeBron James was taking to the finals. You saw that.
Yeah, but if you're the GOAT, if you're the best player on the planet, at least you could win one game off those Spurs. Just one? Nope, swept.
Really, Skip?
Really, swept.
22 years of age. So if you don't mind me asking, can you tell me what Tom Brady was doing at 22? He was using his mom calling card to call home. Collect from Tom. That's what he was doing. My guy was paying mama's bills, living on his own, taking a team to the NBA Finals.
Well,
that's what the 22-year-old was doing from Akron.
That's because the NFL says you cannot come play for us until you've been in college at least 3 years.
Okay, well, so he could have came out early. They got a lot of 20-year-olds that play in the NFL.
They weren't even starting him consistently at Michigan.
Whose fault is that?
Yeah.
If you that guy, if you that dude, when LeBron James ever sat the bench?
Who's the greatest quarterback ever? It's not even close. It's that guy. And your guy is glomming on to that guy, trying to say, hey, it's GOAT to
Let me ask you a
GOAT
question.
talk.
Has there ever been a finals in which LeBron James won that he wasn't the MVP? So I want to know. He got six Lombardis. Why he didn't win the MVP in all of them?
Well, he should have.
No, I'm not saying what he should have done. I'm asking why didn't he?
The voters missed on it.
Okay.
Who was
They missed
it?
on it.
Deion Branch got one against Philadelphia the first time.
And Julian Edelman got one without a touchdown.
And Brady should have gotten the MVP in the Nick Foles Super Bowl because all he did was throw for a playoff record 505, and he should have been the losing team's MVP.
And that's what my guy should have been against the Warriors, remember? He averaged 35, 13, and 9.
Which series?
Against the first in 2015. When they gave it to Iggy, they averaged like 15 points a game.
Yep.
He should have been the finals MVP.
Yeah, but he had game 4 in his house.
Yeah, and your guy
a 2-1 lead, and he spit the bit.
And
he
your
came
guy
up smaller than me.
And your guy had the ball in his hand with a chance to tie the ball game, and he spit the bit.
Wait, which one? Against Nick Foles?
Against Nick Foles.
He threw a perfect Hail Mary and hit Gronk right there.
They call it a Hail Mary, Skip.
Yeah.
That's what because you've been asking for too much to begin with.
Boy,
You say, one more time, God, give me
catchable.
one.
So what more could you ask a guy than to throw for an all-time playoff record, 505 in a Super Bowl, and put up 33? That should stand up for a big dub, and it didn't. Belichick's defense
Skip, my guy,
41.
my guy averaged a triple-double for the entirety of the playoffs and lost. My guy, think about it. My guy just averaged, he was 2 points short of leading the entire playoffs in every statistical category. Again.
All I got to say is the phony GOAT should just leave the true GOAT alone. Just leave him alone. It's okay.
If anybody knows.
Just leave him be.
If anybody knows what Tom Brady is going through currently, it's that man. You know that. I know that. Who's bigger? Who's big on the world stage? Huh?
Oh, now we're going world stage here?
Okay.
I want to know.
Who's the better player in his position?
My guy.
Oh, stop.
I like
my guy.
GOAT love. And you know what? If LeBron likes Tom this much, Shannon, you should
I'm talking Brady.
also get in line and like him and give him some respect.
No mercy.
Matthew Stafford is on his way to L.A. to become the Rams' newest starting quarterback. Before the deal went down over the weekend, Stafford reportedly told the Lions he was willing to be traded to any team except the Patriots. So, Shannon, what does this tell you?
It tells me what Tom Brady knew. Skip, and that's the thing. He's like, hell, Tom felt he couldn't win there anymore. There's no talent. We can't think of you want me to throw to Jacoby Myers. You want me to throw to N'Keal Harry. I forget the tight end.
Matt Lacoste.
Mm-hmm. He's like, no.
Ryan Izzo.
Yep. Skip, he's like, these last years, if I'm going to uproot my family from Detroit, I'm going to go somewhere. Please do this. I like to think I've been a model player for you. Upstanding in the community, haven't given you any problem. At least trade me somewhere that gives me an opportunity to win and gives me an opportunity to showcase what I can really do, that I can throw the football, I can play this game at a high level. And plus, I just left Matt Patricia. I ain't trying to go back. He just wasted 2 years of my life. I don't want to see him ever again.
True.
Unless it's on the other side of the field and I'm whipping his butt. So that's why, Skip, he's like, I'm not going to New England. I understand it's a winning organization, but it's talent devoid. Let me go somewhere that's starting to win, that has talent, and I can showcase my ability. It's as simple as that. And it's hard, Skip, when you've been coached a certain way, and that's what I tell people. It was easy for Coach Belichick to do that with Tom Brady because he got him as a rookie. And even Tom Brady got tired of being coached that way.
That's true. So let me reiterate and underscore the fact that Matthew Stafford said there is only one place in this whole league I will not go. And it's to the quote-unquote GOAT coach, right?
Yes.
Does that in any way undercut or disqualify Bill Belichick as the GOAT coach?
No.
It does for me. Because Matthew Stafford knew what was up.
Yeah.
Matt Stafford knows Tom Brady. He knows full well what Tom Brady for 19 years as the starter in New England had to put up with and overcome and rise above. And it was ultimately Bill Belichick. Brady had to be the good cop in the locker room to tell everybody who came through the door, it's okay, it's just the way he is. Just tune him out.
Yeah. We're going to win.
Yeah, we're just going to win. We'll be okay. Don't let him get to you. Don't let him get under your skin in the film sessions or out on the practice field. It'll be okay. And it was always pretty okay. Sometimes very okay.
Yes.
Thanks to Tom Brady. So just to put this all in perspective, first things first this morning, had Danny Amendola on, obviously a former teammate of Brady's, former favorite target of Tom Brady's, who went to him many, many times in the clutch. Could we hear what Danny Amendola had to say this morning on First Things First?
Do you think it's going to be harder for Belichick to get them to buy in when Tom's not there and they haven't all experienced the deep playoff runs?
Well, first things first, and when you see Patriot Way in in the dictionary, it's going to have Tom Brady's name next to it. None of those coaches threw any passes. None of those coaches caught any passes. None of those coaches made any tackles. They got guys in the right position because they watch a lot of film and they spend all their time at the facility. But Tom Brady is the Patriot way, and that's the reason why Tom Brady's in the Super Bowl right now, and the Patriots aren't.
Kaboom. I'd say that about sums it all up.
Yeah.
I kept telling you, Brady had to sort of instill and install the Patriot way in what I call Tampa Bay. And he did it on the fly, and it's starting to click right on schedule. He brought that whole organization to a Patriot-like boil.
Right.
Okay? So Matt Stafford said, I don't want to live with that because that guy is... He's a sourpuss of a dictator, right? He's a tyrant. He's so hard on everybody around him, and he's a defensive coach who has no real use for the offense, so he can be hard. As Brady will tell you, he was hard on Brady in the film study and obviously on the practice field. So to me, this sums up the fact that I told you, I think Belichick is getting exposed. I think he went along for a great ride. I give you, he's one of the top defensive coordinators ever, and clearly, I am not underestimating that. I'm not underestimating the masterpiece of a game plan he had for that first Super Bowl against the greatest show on turf and the execution of that game plan. I do think we overestimate what he did to Jared Goff because it's Jared Goff and he's getting exposed now. But when Tom Brady wins 6 Super Bowl rings with 6 game-winning drives in the fourth quarter overtime, that's rising above Belichick and the defense. When Belichick's defense allowed Eli to go 83 yards in 13 plays after Brady looked like he had won the game with 2 minutes left in the first Eli Super Bowl, Belichick doesn't, he gets a pass for that. That cost Brady a Super Bowl ring. And then against Nick Foles, when he allowed 41 points to the backup quarterback for the Eagles with Malcolm Butler weirdly, inexplicably benched. Okay. How does he get a pass for that one? I still don't know what happened. And trust me, that was the beginning of the end for Tom Brady.
I think a lot of guys on that team want an explanation they haven't been giving us. But you know, Skip, you know how Coach Belichick is. Coach Belichick, I don't have to explain myself to anybody after doing what I've done. But when you look at it, Skip, and this is what I tell people about the locker room. You hear what he said? He said Tom Brady was the Patriot way. You know why? Because he was the good soldier. He was always taking the bullet. So if you get somebody in that locker room, if you get the leader that's going to do things the right way, your locker room will do things the right way. But if you get somebody in that locker room and they want to splinter it, you see what happens? Yep. That's why you say the locker room. That's where you win games at, is in the locker room. Not on the practice field, not in the meet. That's where you win it, Skip.
Okay, this is why I've always tried to explain to you, I don't know Tom Brady. I've never spoken to Tom Brady, and you would say I'm one of the biggest Brady fans out there. Mm-hmm. It's because I worked with so many former teammates of his when I was at ESPN, sometimes even here, and I hear Danny Amendola. I've never heard one negative word about Tom Brady. No. And you can say all you want about Deflategate or the MAGA hat in the locker, whatever. We can go on and on, but you have to finally give in to the fact his teams loved him. Yeah. They believed in him. They trusted him.
No question.
And they had wavelength. They had connection where we're going to rise above Belichick and do this.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, put it like this. There's no question in my mind those guys love Tom Brady more than they love Coach Belichick.
Oh.
It would just happen to be, he just happened to be there, but it was all about being with Tom. It was all about the way he made them feel.
Right.
Because Coach Belichick maybe didn't make him feel so great.
I don't think he did.
Oh, the fact that it worked and lasted that long is what's fascinating.
No mercy.
Ty Lue has played alongside Michael Jordan and coached LeBron James, and he thinks the two basketball icons are more similar than some may think. Lue said, quote, "They're the same. They both wanted to win and would do anything it took to win. I thought they did a great job. Both of those guys did a great job of galvanizing the team and bringing everyone together, making everyone feel a part of it." So, Shannon, is he being completely honest or just saying the right thing here?
I believe he's being honest. I just think the thing is that unless somebody did it Michael Jordan's way, it's not the right way to do it. LeBron James is a different type of a leader. Kobe and LeBron chose to be confrontational a lot of time with their teammates. That's not how LeBron is. LeBron is more apt to buy you beats. Let's go to dinner. Let's hang out, drink a bottle of wine, do things of that nature.
He's got a personal thing with everybody on the team.
Yeah,
right?
Yes. He got a personal handshake with everybody.
Everybody.
And that's his thing.
How do you do that? It takes so long.
Yeah, but
how do you rehearse all those?
God, you got plenty of time.
They're so complex. Go ahead.
I just think the thing is, Skip, is that we try to find the differences between Mike and LeBron, that we overlook the similarities, that they're more, as Ty Lue said, they're more similar than you might think, is because LeBron is not really like in your face like Jordan was, like he's not as confrontational like Jordan was. We automatically think that his personality is docile, like, oh, he doesn't care. But he has a burning inside that wants to win. He just chooses to go about it a different way. So for me, I believe Ty Lue is 100%. And knowing Ty Lue the little bit that I know now, Ty Lue don't just say stuff just to say. I think you know Ty Lue also. Ty Lue, he gonna shoot you straight. He gonna tell it like it is.
To a point, but he's in a tricky new situation from a team that fell on its face, one round short of what it shot for the whole year, which was Lakers in the conference finals. And so he's trying to rebuild that team's confidence.
They got to do with LeBron.
Psyche. It has everything to do with LeBron because they share the building.
No,
and obviously, very quietly.
Y'all a tenant.
We're the basement tenant.
Yep.
But very quietly, they're trying to rebuild some mental stature to be able to stand up to LeBron and AD when it really counts. And I believe Ty Lue is doing a phenomenal job of that. So if he has any negative emotions about LeBron, he coached him for a long time. They had their ups and downs, but they came back from 3-1 down to win a championship together. And you know how it feels to win championship with anybody. It just cures everything. Whatever issues you have, when you win like that, it's till death do you part.
Who was coaching the Cavs when they were down 3-1 to a team that won 73 games and had unanimous MVP?
That's what I just said.
Yeah.
Ty won a championship with LeBron.
Can I ask you a question?
Coming from 3-1 down.
I just want to ask you this. Help me understand this. Why is it when someone says something positive or glowing about Tom Brady, it's the gospel? They would never lie. But the minute someone says something positive or glowing about LeBron James, they're being not truthful. Why is that?
I don't think he can be truthful in this situation. And I also think that he might not have the perfect view of Jordan Last Dance. I'm sure you watched the documentary.
Right.
But remember, Ty Lue only played with Michael when he came back for those 2 ceremonial years in Washington. Well,
he was the same guy. He just didn't have the same ability.
He was a shell of himself. Let's just put it like it is. He could still average 20 and 6, which was phenomenal at 39 and 40.
Right.
Given the fact he'd kind of let himself go, too many cigars, too much golf, too much, that.
Yeah.
And so I'm not sure that Ty saw full bore Michael Jordan the way Scotty got it right between the eyes and Rodman and all the above and all the way down to all the things we talked about in Last Dance, because he was a cold-blooded killer of a leader, and he did it the exact opposite way that LeBron did it.
But see, Skip, that's what he's saying. They might have different styles, but they're the same person wanting to achieve the goal.
Yeah, that they both galvanize a team in extremely different ways, but they both brought their teams together. Okay, if he does have, they had their ups and downs. Obviously, it was widely reported their ups and downs through their long time together in Cleveland, right?
Yes.
But they fought through it, and they came from 3-1 down. It was unheard of, and they pulled it off.
Yes.
Okay, so does he have some negativity about LeBron? Does he know some things? Yeah, he does.
Skip, do you actually think, first of all, do you realize how he got the job? He got it because of LeBron's blessing.
He did.
He wasn't going to get that job without LeBron's blessing.
I got it.
So, and he got a championship because of LeBron.
He could have had several jobs this past offseason, right?
He would have got no job if LeBron James says, I want Ty Lue for David Blatt's place. I want Ty Lue. He wouldn't have got no job.
Okay, and what job did he take this past offseason? took the one that has to live up to LeBron in the same house.
That was a Skip.
Right?
Okay, he had a choice of that, Houston.
He did.
James Harden's gone. How would he look now with Houston with no James Harden?
Yep.
Okay, what other job? Philly. Doc got that job. So basically there was only a handful of, so that's the best job. That was of all the jobs, that was the best one.
Well, he didn't shy away from it.
Why would he? Why would he?
Because that team was incredibly internally destroyed last year,
Doesn't mean they're not talented. It just means they're weak, but they're talented.
Okay.
So it's his job to build their confidence back, build their mentality back so they can go compete for a title.
Okay. Who was his mentor in the league? Ty Lue's mentor? Doc Rivers. So he's going to slide into one seat over into Doc's seat.
Well, he gets an opportunity, he gets a first-hand look. You see what Doc did that didn't go well, now I can take what he didn't do well and apply this and make it go well.
Well, he obviously thought, I could do some things Doc didn't do. And he's doing some things because the ball is moving like crazy.
But plus also, Skip, the players understand this was not about Doc. We had a 3-1 lead. It's on us. We got to play better also.
Okay, here we go. Here comes Ty Lue.
No mercy.
How about this image? Aaron Rodgers confirmed that it was indeed him riding in the back of a pickup truck holding up a case of beer in a viral video from last week. Rodgers tweeted saying, yeah, it was me, and it was David Bakhtiari's truck and soggy beer cases. So, Shannon, what's going on here?
After the season, guys find different ways to unwind. Win, lose, or draw, I was headed back to Atlanta. I was going straight to Houston, get that spinach dip, used to have a Biltmore sandwich. Then they cut that out, and I started getting the ribs, chicken tenders. I was getting back home, just finding a way to unwind. Some guys go on vacation. Some guys went to Cancun or Jamaica, whatever they go.
Did you ride to Houston's in the back of a pickup truck?
Hell no, I ain't got no pickup truck. I had rode enough in the back of a pickup truck when I was a kid. I ain't getting in the back of a pickup truck anymore.
This is up there with the weirdest videos I've ever seen. This is the runaway MVP in the back of David Bakhtiari's pickup truck in the freezing cold. In the open air, riding through the streets of Green Bay, Wisconsin, holding up a case of beer. And I wondered, did he already down another case of beer?
He might have had a couple of them.
He might have had a couple to drown his sorrows over stinking up the fourth quarter of the NFC Championship game.
He didn't play well.
He did not play well. What is he doing? Why wasn't he riding up in the cab with Bakhtiari?
Well, Skip, I had a couple, when I was in college, I had some homeboys rolling the back of a pickup truck to Mississippi, to Tennessee.
I know, but that's because it's full up in the cab. You don't have
No, they was in the back.
Huh?
They was in the back.
Everybody except you was in the back?
No. I didn't ride with him. Hell no. I was close by. But I'm just saying, Skip, let the man know how he wanted to.
Explain this. I need an explanation. I thought he was a tequila drinker.
I have the explanation, guys. They're social
Billie Holiday had a famous song that says, hush. Now, don't explain.
Okay.
Some things are offered without explanation. He in the back of a pickup truck. He got him a good old case. He might have had 2 cases.
He's having a great time.
You a hater.
It's safer outside.
Do you, Aaron?
It's always cold there.
Do you?
What a way to end the show. That is it for Undisputed. We're back same time tomorrow morning. Have a good one.